there's beginning to be a noticing how much is like everything coming in is like, how does this relate to me? I did good, I didn't do good, and it's kind of overwhelming. And I'm just wondering if you could talk about how to, if not slow it down, like what to do with this movie of it feels like every single thing that's going on, like you described in the monologue, when it's going on, it's like air coming through the lungs. It's just like, I don't really know how to disengage from it, and just watching it.
Yes. So first of all, the conditioned habit of self-referencing in the common life is absolutely constant. Maybe there are very rare moments, but as a general theme, they are constant. It is a constant mechanism. And it goes completely unrecognized because it is just the given experience. But as you begin to wake up to yourself, you begin becoming sensitive. And you realize the play of what is called ego is alive, except for these little tiny brief instances. It's alive all the time. It's alive in how the body is held, in the musculature, in the movements, in the inflection in the voice, in the very vibration of the voice, let alone the actions and the thoughts. But that which becomes aware of it is the byproduct of the humility. It is not possible to be freed if you first do not recognize. The recognition is actually the larger part of it. It is not a doing. The transformation comes in simply the seeing. There is a hunger to be free of it because there is still a sense that this defines who I am. It is not changing anything. It is already in perfect order. There is the seeing. That which is seeing is egoless. The feeling of it is the feeling of yourself. Within that feeling, there is no self-referencing. It has nothing to do with the mechanics changing. It's just about seeing the mechanics as mechanics. And that is how it is seen in reality when you are present, when you are aware.
The feeling of the seeing of the just compulsive nature of self-referencing, or the beginning of the seeing of it, let's say, it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like awareness, but
I understand what you're saying because it is experienced in the background and the story is in the foreground.
Yeah.
But if it were not there, there would be no awareness of self-referencing. It is that awareness that is free. So normally at this stage, the lion's share of the attention is on the story and the sensations and feelings that are generated from that. But in an instant, it is possible, instead of just noticing what is noticing, to then feel the feeling of that which notices, which is the feeling of being. And then it shifts from the background to the foreground, and then you realize this is it.
No, I just want to say also that I guess it's related to the self-referencing, but for the 3.5 years that I've known you, the how sort of adorable you are, and how much I'm not mesmerized, but it's not trapped, but in seeing you as somebody, and there's been during this retreat a huge awareness, I guess, of, or beginning of, what you really are and what you're really offering. And I just want to say it really blows my mind. And to say thank you.
You more deeply seeing me is because you are more deeply seeing you. What I represent, and the representation growing clearer over time, which is what happens, is really the representation of what you recognize in you. It is impossible to experience oneself as separate and experience anything other as not separate. Because when you are separate, everything is other. So the story came up around the constant self-referencing. But that which sees what is not other is not self-referencing.
Thank you.
You know, there is something else I wanted to speak. So I realized that you were told that Kalima should not be your name, it is the name for a sage. Everything comes up in the play. What came forth was the recognition that is growing inside of yourself. Because instead of being thrown into a whole bunch of confusion, there was a recognition that that was off, that this is your name. It is what you are growing into.